Hey everybody, it's Lynnea. I'm going to be using the Nature Hike Peel Apart Rubber Background Stamp from Simon Hurley Create today, and I'm going to be taking advantage of the Peel Apart feature of this stamp. So I will be working on stark white cardstock. It's one of my favorite cardstocks for just about everything. I use this cardstock for everything except for watercoloring techniques. I'm going to be peeling apart that Nature Hike stamp set, and there are 5 different stamps in this stamp set that peel off of the background. So I'm going to be working with just the oak leaf stamp. Oak trees are some of my favorites in the fall. It's hard to choose sometimes between oak and maple, but I like the shape of the oak leaves. So I'm going to peel that apart and I'm going to create my own background, kind of mimicking the Nature Hike background stamp, but using just that oak leaf. So I'm working on stark white cardstock, like I said. I treated it with my anti-static powder bag tool, and then I'm using Versamark ink and white embossing powder. And I'm just going to stamp and then add that white embossing powder until my whole background is full, and then I'll heat set it. Now you can't really tell that I have anything on my background because it's white on white, but when I start ink blending, you're going to see this embossed image resist the ink, and it's going to pop out from the background and show its white embossing color. So I have a few colors of Simon Hurley Create dye inks here. I don't end up using the Twiggy Brown. I'm going to use Bee Sting, Traffic Cone, and Slippery When Wet. These I felt like were the 3 colors in the Simon Hurley Create line that really screamed fall to me. So I'm going in dark and heavy with that Bee Sting first, and I'm using a mini finger blending brush. It's the same thing as a regular blending brush, just its fingertip size so that I can get into smaller areas and I can just add little bits of ink. I started with that Bee Sting at the base of each of the oak leaves, and then I came in with Traffic Cone, blended that out a little bit, and then anything that I have left, I'm going to cover up with the Slippery When Wet. So definitely the tops of the leaves, but also any of those little center areas I'm going to fill in. You can fill in with any color you want, but yellow always seems to get dominated by the other colors, so I thought that if I added a little extra of that, it would really show. Then I'm going to come in with a dry cloth and buff away any ink that's on top of the embossing powder. Don't be afraid to put some muscle into this. If you find that your embossing powder is kind of holding on to the ink a little bit, just kind of give it some arm strength and it'll rub right off the embossing powder. Now I'm coming in with clean, clear water here and just dropping this on, lightly misting and spraying so that I would get some fun effects. It wasn't really showing the way that I wanted it to, and I didn't want to keep messing. I didn't want to keep spraying water because then I always tend to overspray. So instead, I decided to kind of glitz up this background with a little bit of gold watercolor. So I'm just flicking on some gold watercolor onto my background. And again, I was kind of missing some areas here, and rather than continue to use my paintbrush and flick, I just dip it right into the paint and add the gold watercolor where I feel like it's missing. I added a die cut sentiment and some enamel dots, and that finishes this fun oak leaf background that I created with the Nature Hike Peel Apart background stamp from Simon Hurley Create. Thank you guys for watching. See you soon. Bye. Thank you again very much for watching this video. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more from me, please hit that subscribe button that is on the screen now. And here are a few other videos that I thought you might enjoy.